Hello, and welcome back to the Cove with more Frostpunk the Last Autumn. Alright, so I've had a little bit of time to think between videos while on pause. I've been trying to figure out exactly how we want to go about things, and I think we're going to tweak a couple of things today. So at the moment, we're doing pretty decent as far as these Steam exchanges are concerned. We're making very solid progress, but I am concerned about how much timber we actively have. So given the fact that we have an extra sawmill that is not currently being used and our excess of workers here, I think we're going to cut this down to half progress. And so even though we have an excess, that should be safe. And we're going to go ahead and make sure that we make as much quick work through these trees as possible. Give us as much as we know that we're going to need to use, and potentially set us up to maybe switch over one of these docks tomorrow, and making sure that we have a good ample amount of timber. But either way, that's one of the things we're going to do. After that, I think one of our other things is that at the moment we do have another shipment of food coming in. I think we could wait the 4 hours, and we may as well. But once these guys arrive and the next shipment comes our way, we're going to go ahead and recall that outpost, and we're going to send them towards Site 120. It's, yeah, our day and 8 hours we have to find out what happened to the site, so I want to make sure that we get this sorted nice and efficiently. Alright, and apparently we also have a couple of extra workers hanging around right now. So where do we want to put them? Well, everybody's working here in the docks. We've got that steam sawmill up and running. In fact, it's probably not going to be too long until we can tear this down, which will give us back a little bit of extra steel. That'll be quite nice. And then what to do? You know what? I think what we may go ahead and do is maximize our workers here. Get as much coal as we can over today, and see where that puts us. If we have a check at our economy, we are producing about 800 more than we actively need, which is fantastic. I want to have a good stockpile of this, and we do have this here. So 800, that's going to be a couple of days to fill this, so I think that's going to be fairly good. And then what else do we want to do? I think everything else should be safe. When these ventilation plants come online tomorrow, everything should be fairly good as far as those workplaces are concerned. We also do have, oh that's right, we have survivors from a, where was it? It was not the site, it was just over at the workers camp, that's right. So we need to prepare some houses for them too. That would be an important thing. Make sure that we don't have any issues there as far as homelessness. Let's go ahead and pop those two in here, and let's do that again. And that'll be all the timber that we can afford, and I guess we'll get to those paths when we're ready. Yeah, that'll cost us 3 wood. We're not going to go ahead and do that right now. That'll be more than we need. That'll put us a little bit ahead of time. Oh, right, and before I forget, we're about to have a temperature drop, so let's go ahead and build a couple of braziers as well. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we hit both of these buildings here. I think, yeah, this one's the spot where we need it to keep those two warm. I think we'll go ahead and do the same thing over here. We'll make sure that both of those buildings are taken care of, not to mention it covers a little bit more of the generator just in case. And then I think we'll even go ahead and build a third one back over here. That way all the workshops, that extra medical post as well is reached. And then anywhere else that we really care for, there is our cookhouse, that is a possibility. Telegraph station, I think though it's going to end up being about, might end up needing to put, might need to move an extra road in there for us to get the best value for money. I'm thinking about there would be best. If we could put this somewhere along here, that way we could potentially hit the docks as well. And make sure that our workplaces stay nice and warm. But you know what? Let's go ahead and build that road and see what we can do. If we go a little bit further from where we're at, That'll cost us 1. That'll cost us the final 2 timber. That'll be fine. We'll figure out where the best spot is, and yeah, that definitely looks like that is the right spot for us. We'll pop that there. We'll even go ahead and dismantle that last little section of road. Yeah, save us that extra timber now that we've got that pre-planned. And I think we're good. So let's go ahead and let time roll on by. We have a motivational speech to use in a couple of hours. Make sure that we get to that before the first work call is there. Again, we want to make sure that we're gaining as much motivation as possible, as this game has not been particularly nice at the moment. We've suffered a fair bit of loss of motivation, and would you look at that, there it goes one more time. We certainly need to stay ahead of the curve if we're going to be okay, so we'll try and do what we can. Alright, so there we go. Let's go ahead and use that. Motivational speech builds us back to where we were. What else could we do? Yeah, I think we'll wait those final 2 hours and 30 minutes. That should be a-okay. Oh, right, and we also need to go ahead and send off another telegraph to the people back at home. So I had a bit of a check, and I think that this is what we're going to run with. We're going to go with another steam core, as well as another couple of prosthetics. I think we're going to have more than enough workers. We don't need more engineers. This is definitely what we need, because I'm sure more accidents are going to happen, and we need to make sure we have a solid amount of prosthetics. So let's set that order off as well. Okay, and I think that's going to put us into a fairly decent position. Obviously, with this next temperature drop, I'm afraid that's going to either, well, it's going to hurt our discontent or our motivation. Either way, it's not going to be good. Alright, it's freezing. How are we supposed to work in such cold? And I just hope it won't get any colder. Yeah, no, that's, I think we have a little bit of information that they don't have. It's not going to be nice. And here we go, the temperature starts to plummet. It is now minus 10 degrees Celsius. Yikes. Oh, well, you know what? That actually didn't do too much to our discontent or motivation. Alright, oh, and also too, we did have a death, in fact, our first death, which was kind of unfortunate. Workers killed an engineer. Hopefully with that disappearing, we should gain back a little bit of motivation, but I'm not too certain one way or the other. We also do have 1 body, so let's go ahead and spend the 5 steel required to prepare the body. And that should also hopefully, increase our motivation, because we've taken care of our people properly. A fairly small price to pay, if you ask me. Oh boy. Yeah, okay. And you can already see the snow is beginning to set in. That is quite alarming. Alright, well, let's see as soon as work starts. Luckily, the toxicity level has come down.
Glory to the working class.
Alright, so we could use some protective structures and make this safe again. I'm not sure if we... Oh, we're about to get 50 workers, so maybe we could. This is already as safe as it's going to be. In fact, it's a little bit more safe than necessary. But I think we gain extra efficiency if we have it as a short shift. So we'll try and, cheat that just a little bit. Although, you know what, maybe... Yeah, it's more efficient to keep that as a short shift. What about our machine shop? Yep, foundry is also good. And then our profiles manufacture, that is... Yeah, we don't need those excess safety procedures active at this stage. Alright, we will lose maybe an hour or two while those workers come here. But I think it'll be fine. We'll make pretty quick progress. A few people are still in treatment from that horrific accident that we had. So I think what we'll do is we'll definitely go ahead and give extra rations there. If we can cut down their recovery time, that'll be phenomenal. What about these? We're down to 15. What could we do? You know what? It's not bad efficiency there. We have 7 people available. You know what? We're going to go ahead and send them to the core. Since it is up and running, we may as well make sure that that is making a small amount of progress. Anybody else left over? I don't see that. So let's just let things continue. Again, in 35 minutes, we're going to be very careful to pause it on the time and make sure that once the outpost sends their next delivery, we quickly rush them off again towards Site 120. We've only got a day and 5 hours there, so we want to do so quite carefully. And there we go. Okay, let's go ahead and head out to the forages. We're going to leave this camp. We can open it again later. That's fine by me. These guys, let's run them. Now let's see, if we tell them to go here, that'll take 1 day and 20 hours, which is way too long. But if we tell them to make it back here, that'll take 17 hours. Oh, we may not actually be quick enough. We may not be fast enough at all. Oh, dearie me. Okay, well, I'm hoping and praying that we can get to Site 120 right after this collapsed mine. Because otherwise, this is completely, yeah, 17 hours. That'll leave us with... let's see. An extra 7 hours, 11 hours. That's probably a good 12 hours away. It's gonna be close. Yeah, I don't think that there's any point in us doing this anymore. Okay, I think we've waited too long. You know what? Let's just make sure that we don't break camp now that we've got that figured out. Oh well. Extra food is nice, I suppose. Hopefully we are not going to get bit in the backside with those decisions there. Oh, and before I forget, let's go ahead and get this road sorted out. We can just quickly tie that in. We'll have less trouble tonight. And let's see, how long until that insulation is sorted? 3 hours. Okay, well, with that being the case, we're not going to spend our timber right about now. We're going to make sure that people are still able to, what do we call it? Research technology. All right, well, either way, here are the foragers from unit number 6 have returned safely to the city. You can disband them or send them back. That's perfectly fine. We're going to race right back out and see what we can do. 16 hours. I think we're going to be too short. I think we have gone just too far. Oh man, that's really bad. I have definitely goofed with that one. Oh, that is such a pity. Is there any technology that we could possibly do to make things a little bit better by then? Let's see. Additional forages, that's not going to help. We already have the fastest carts possible. Okay, that's a bit of a problem. Alright, well then if that's the case, what I'm thinking of doing is maybe for our next technology is let's go for our medical mechanization. I think that's going to be our best bet. But for that, we're going to need 120 timber. So hopefully we should have enough by then. But again, let's see, 19 per hour. Oh, it's viable. It is certainly a possibility with the amount of time that that'll take. Yeah, but either way, we'll figure that out in due course. It does appear that we have plenty of sick people. They did warn us that about half of them were going to be ill, which is definitely not ideal. So let's send a couple of extra workers to those medical posts. They can work there. Let's send the remaining that are healthy to the core. That will be good for our progress there. We are still 3 days ahead of schedule, so that's not bad. It is a fully safe workplace as well, so that is excellent to see. And then what do we do with the remnants? We have 3 more people. But we can't send them to the docks. We could, I guess, keep on fabricating if we so desired. Yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and fulfill the machine shop's shortages there. We don't need extra people working right now. We have plenty of raw food. Actually, hang on a second. How much raw food do we gain? 22 per hour. That's 200 odd. Oh, wow. Actually, we might have a bit of an issue with our surplus of raw food. Although, considering how much we go through, 285. Will technically give us a little bit of room for us to consume. And enough for tomorrow as well. Let's see, another 200. Okay, never mind. We do have plenty of storage for raw food. We'll be a-okay as it stands. Yeah, that'll be okay. Streets are being constructed. That'll be those final 2 houses, I dare say. I guess no one else is homeless as well, simply because of the fact of our care house that's able to look after a few people, so that's not terrible. Oh yeah, and we should also go ahead and double check the temperature overlay of things. So at the moment, these large resource depots are livable. Okay, they're not cold enough, so we'll turn that one off. And we'll keep that turned off as well, I dare say. Yeah, they are both perfectly fine as is. Let's go ahead and turn one of them off. Let's just double check. Oh, the heating is fine. Huh. Well then, if that's the case... The weather is +1, the heat zone is +1. I guess we could turn that off. No, that would make it colder in there. Okay, so we can get away with one turned on. That's not too bad. In fact, yes. Spending as much coal on that as we are, that is completely agreeable in my opinion. Let's also go ahead and... Oh, we're dealing with more homeless. Yeah, we need to build that extra house. So let's... No. We're going to hold off. That's right, we're going to hold off. We need to get this technology up and running. If we can save room in the infirmary for an extra 5 workers, that'll free up 4 of them, as well as an engineer, which we can staff at another medical facility. Both things of which would be far more effective than what we're currently standing with. Can we do any more food for the ill? No, not at this stage. Okay, but sometime soon. Yes, okay, well, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and speed up time a little bit. Let's see what that can do. Alright, and healthcare insulation has been reached. That'll be very good preemptively for the next temperature drop. Let's go ahead and pick up a new tech. And I think we're going to go for preserving that manpower. We're fine with the cold. We don't need the extra insulation right now. We're not actively using the burner that we could, so that will cover us for a little bit. And then... let's just double check. Yeah, efficient gathering is not necessary. This would give us better efficiency inside our infirmary, which is really important for us right now. Yeah, it's a shame. Unfortunately, the toxicity level is going up again tomorrow. I would prefer to try and stay ahead on that, but I don't think that there's much we can do about that for now. So with that in mind, let's just go ahead and take care of our people as best we can. There we go. All right. And now, since we know that we have plenty of excess timber, let's go ahead and build our... Oh, no. Do we want to build the house around the chapel or the what do we call it? Bathhouse. So the bathhouse keeps people more healthy and less likely for them to get sick. These give us, services increasing their motivation. Okay, the church is more important than bathing right now. So, you know what? We'll chuck this here because we also then don't have to pay for the pathing. That seems as good as we can get. Oh, and we can even pop in one more if we so desire. That is particularly nice. Although, what's going on down here? Is that a road? Is that a road that we no longer need? Yeah, that is an unnecessary road. So we could go ahead and dismantle that if we wanted. And I think... yeah, I think we'll go ahead and do that for now. It's not a big deal. Not that we need the extra timber, but it means that when we go to place a building, we're not going to get stuck. I think we should also potentially see about creating another large... what is it? Another large resource depot. I think that would be rather good. So let's go ahead and... we need more timber. Okay, well, you know what? That's not too hard. Let's give us a second there. There we go. There's the 50 required. Oh, wait. Before we do that, again, how long have we got? 6 hours. Okay, so this will be finished by the end of day. That's actually quite fantastic. That is quite fantastic indeed. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, quite fantastic indeed. Alright, so if we're going to finish that today, what's our one to follow? Just to make sure that we're not burning through what we need. I would like the idea of that extra ventilation plant. That would be really good for us. Okay, I think that's our next technology that we're running for. So we'll try and have the 120 by the end of day. We need an extra 50, so if we can get to 170 wood, we'll be fine. But we'll see how that goes. Oh, we have a couple of extra people who are healthy. I'm guessing they picked up some prosthetics. Let's go ahead and send them to the machine shop. Yeah, we're going to go with the machine shop. I think that's going to be our biggest contender. Yeah, let's go ahead and finish up there. Again, if we can get a couple more than this, maybe like 7 or 12 more, a dozen more, we might be able to rearrange some of the manpower there and turn off that building so it's no longer an unnecessary burden. That would be particularly good if we can manage that. All right, let's see, how are we still going on the sawmill? Still not too bad, but we'll see. And it looks like we've got an event for the docks. Oh dear. Oh no, it's a workers' council. Okay, alternative design. A construction site worker came up with an ingenious redesign of joints used in scaffolding and formwork. It's a minor and apparently safe change which should significantly advance work. Will you order its adoption? No thanks. Wait, strike goes up or of course? Construction will advance by 10%. The answer is yes, we will happily do this. It's been marked as safe, so let's go ahead. Does that mean we make more progress here at the core? I'm feeling like we've jumped up a fair decent amount. In fact, at this rate, I dare say we're going to be finished with the core tomorrow, and that's going to be almost 3 days ahead of schedule. That is fantastic if that is the case. Yeah, those extra 50 workers can then start working on the next section. We can finally go ahead and start building the 2 thermal hulls, and then it's nothing but optional upgrades from there. So we should have enough, well, enough of a minimum requirement to technically survive. Whether it's comfortable, that will be debatable, but we will see with what we've got. Alright, again, just trying to double check with these medical posts. There we go. Let's use up those food rations. We need to get people back out. 12 hours is a fair bit of time for them to heal. A whole bunch at 3 and 4 hours. That's really good. That should take away half of our sick. And then what else have we got after there? After that, let's just double check on these. 7 hours. That'll leave us with 8 remaining. Yeah, that's not terrible. In fact, I think if we check out, yeah, by 12 hours, so at, what, 3 a.m. tomorrow, everybody should be in treatment. Okay, you know what? That is something I can get behind. That's, it's not fantastic, but it could certainly be a whole stack worse. We do have our 170 wood, so we're now going to go ahead and set up that large resource depot. I think, yeah, as nice as it would be to pop that there, we need that for the ventilation plant, so we're going to have to move this further back. Let's go ahead and... where can we shuffle you around to? Oh, you know what? I reckon we could pop that back there, alright. Either that or maybe back there? Yeah, this would be fun. Let's go ahead and put some storage way back here. That's relatively out of the way. Yeah, that's not a problem at all. Yeah, not one problem, one little bit. Alright, fantastic. That's really good to see. Also, too, even if we take tomorrow off with the high levels of toxicity, we will still be ahead of time. So, you know what? I'm I'm very happy with the amount of progress we've been able to maintain, even with the disaster that happened in the last one with that fire breakout. Yeah, that's really good to see. Alright, we've got 5 hours until our scouts, or well, until our foragers have made it to the next location. I'm kind of upset that we're as far behind on Site 120 as we were. We probably left it a little bit too late, but again, I don't think I realized that there was going to be a little bit of a trail. So we're going to have to be as time efficient as possible. Alright, how are things going? Bare knuckle bouts have taken place. A little bit of injury, but that's okay. Discontent is done away with a little bit further. That is phenomenal. That's what we need. And... oh, medical mechanization didn't get completed today. Huh. That is surprising. I thought we had timed that out. Although, you know what? Maybe it's about an hour-ish kind of thing, and so that's why we've missed out. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. Well, I was really hoping for that efficiency buff to our medical overnight, but you know what? At least we'll have it, because I'm sure that there's going to be some other danger in the meantime, in the future. But either way, we're down to the final couple of minutes of our forages, so let's just slow down time so we do not miss this. Again, we are trying to thread the needle. So there we go. Alright, foragers have reached the collapsed mine. Let's see what's going on there. The coal mine has been abandoned after a recent collapse and is Site 120. It is 8 hours away. We have 12 hours left. Oh, wow. Okay, you know what? We absolutely made that by the skin of our teeth. That is so very good for such a terrible thing to have occurred. I thought we had doomed ourselves on that front. So, yeah, I guess a lot can change in 30 minutes, give or take. Yeah, that's really good. Alright, now we also have a whole stack of steel and a whole stack of coal. Let's go ahead and just double check our production. We have 20 steel composites already. That's set up. We have an extra 25. That would be enough for our optional upgrades. But I feel like we may need at least another 5 spare. So we're going to queue up a couple excess. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just double check that again. So again, yeah, 20 there. 15 and 25. Yep, that's 45. Oh, wait a second. I don't think I counted that outright. Yeah, we needed 45. Okay, so we did need 5 more. Alright, and then we did a couple of extra. Just to be on the safe side. Again, having a surplus is a good idea. And then with these steam exchanges, I think we could go for another 2, make it around 100. Because that would then give us a few supercharges as well, which I think would be remarkably pleasant to have. Yeah, the sooner we get our people out of such a toxic environment, the better. We need to keep our people safe. So we'll happily spend another 32 steel there. And then what do we want to go towards? We have a decent amount of timber. We could technically maybe... oh no, we still need the charcoal kilns if we're going to switch one of these over to timber. Yeah, that is a bit of a pickle. Although, technically speaking, we do have these coal piles. Not the toastiest, but we do have a gathering post, so that will make things more bearable. And we could always find a heater as well. Yeah, that's not the end of the world. You know what? We may need the coal really quickly, so I think for now we're going to stick where we are. We still have another 270 timber coming on in. 270. Yeah, so about 370 wood. That's not bad. In fact, we're probably not going to need all of this extra work. So let's go ahead and call back a couple of you and let's send them to another job instead. Let's go for these steam exchanges as well as the foundry. Yeah, again, if we can finish up what we have queued up, that's going to be particularly nice. Give us a little bit of extra wiggle room. Yeah, that should be good. We have more than enough meals for us to feed everybody as it currently stands for another day. And realistically, I think if we can finish this, we can send everybody to the other job. That'll do nicely. Let's go ahead and set this to raw food or rations. I think we're going to go for rations. Yeah, there we go. We're going to try and queue up as much as possible. That'll be pretty good. Although we are making a whole stack of steel, so you know what? Maybe we do queue up a fair few more of these steam exchangers. Let's see. That's another 5. There we are. That uses up a fair chunk of steel. We are going to need a whole stack of that for technology. But again, at the rate we're going through it, we may end up having to change around. Actually, you know what? I think we'll do it now. We may need to change around some of our resources. So what have we got? We have U set to steel, U set to raw food. Yeah, that's probably going to have to stay as is. That's coal, and then that's food rations. Okay, so we want just a little bit of headroom on the steel. I think we probably do. Let's go with a large depot, though. We'll build another one of these. They're not too expensive, all things considered. And then we'll go... we just chuck it side by side? It's not the worst place. Either that or maybe we just pop it back there. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and pop this all the way back there. That's not a bad spot for it at all, actually. We're not going to need too much more. And I'm sure they'll appreciate the shorter journey for things. But either way, I think that's a good spot to call it for today. We'll see what the fate of Site 120 is in the next one. And I will see you next time. So until then, thank you for tuning into the Leviathan Cove. This is the Leviathan, signing out.